All right, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages. We are back for another week of Just a Fan podcast. As you can see in the title of the show, we're going to be talking about the Hall of Fame, the induction that happened this past weekend and the fallout from it. But first, let's introduce ourselves. Coach Williams, NFL Encyclopedia, Wildcat quarterback that runs the show. Hey, man, I'm a future Hall of Famer myself, okay? That direction. Panel 316. He's a good guy with the black hat, but he says expand the Hall of Fame classes. And man, listen, I agree with him 100% because, well, I'm letting him explain why he said that.
It's just that it's first of all, I think this is probably the first class in Hall of Fame induction classes that only had like 4 guys. And I don't care what's up, Donald. I don't care. I don't care what. There is no excuse for that because there are so many players deserving of the Hall of Fame, and there's no excuse to just have 4 guys going in. And in some cases, when you have 7 going in, that's still some guys that get left behind, and it's not fair. But yeah, it's there's some that's interesting. I just saw that. Go ahead and bring that question up because I know that's not what we're talking about tonight, but that's a good question. Go ahead and bring that question up.
The Dolphins and Commanders reportedly have discussed a Terry McLaurin and Tyreek Hill trade. What do y'all think about that? Now,
I don't think he's going nowhere.
Yeah, but just to entertain it, because I don't think Terry McLaurin is going anywhere either. Listen, what I did was, and you know me, E. Every time certain things have come up, I always do a little bit extra research and a little bit digging just to see if anything makes sense, right?
Mm-hmm. I know where you're going.
Huh?
I know where you're going. Go ahead.
All right. So when I looked at this, when I saw this, and I said, okay, let me just, get a feel for this. Okay. First of all, like Eric said, he's not going anywhere. I agree. Okay. But second of all, one, if you trade Terry McLaurin to Miami for Tyreek Hill, you're paying for someone who is a year and a half older than Terry McLaurin. Okay.
That's one. Go ahead.
Plus, he might be looking for a contract extension himself because after this season, he could be looking for even more money. And Tyreek Hill is going to believe that he's better than Terry McLaurin. So even if you do make this trade and whatever Miami decides to pay him, Tyreek Hill's going to come to Washington and say, pay me more than Miami paid him, but I'm a year and a half older than him. So to me, that doesn't make any sense. Plus, Terry McLaurin has been a model citizen. He doesn't complain. He doesn't cry. He doesn't whine. He doesn't need a pacifier. You know what I'm saying? Tyreek Hill has done some complaining in Kansas City. That's why he's out. He's done some complaining in Miami, and Mike McDaniel is getting tired of it. My thing is this, and yes, he is faster than Terry McLaurin. He will. It'd be just go bye-bye, okay? But you bring him in. You don't know if he's going to be well-behaved this entire season. It's almost like George Pickens in Dallas, okay? Yes, I know I said Pickens will probably behave himself because this is his first year in Dallas, and you could probably expect the same thing from Tyreek Hill. but it's not guaranteed either. So you will be adding a player that's going to be looking for more money, that's a year and a half older, and you don't know how his demeanor is going to be the entire season.
The money is what's got me. Because here's the thing, and if you don't mind me taking
Go ahead.
it. Here's the thing. The money is the issue with me. You are trading. You're talking about trading a guy. One, like you said, is younger. That's one thing. But you're trading a guy because you quote unquote don't want to pay him. Okay, when you bring Tyreek Hill in, you're going to inherit his salary. That doesn't make sense. Okay, and like you said, Brandon, Tyreek is probably going to want a new deal when he gets to Washington, which means you're going to wind up paying Tyreek just about the same amount that Terry McLaurin wanted or more. Okay. Then on the Miami side, the Miami front office and coaching staff just trying to get fired at this point. They committing career suicide because you bring it in. Basically, you just getting rid of one high price wide receiver to bring in another one, and you got to rework or rather extend Terry McLaurin on his current deal, which is going to be more than what you were paying Tyreek Hill. That, excuse me, and then you still have the dead cap that's left over when Tyreek Hill gets traded, because there's still a thing, ladies and gentlemen, called dead cap. The other team doesn't just automatically take all of the money, all of the cap space and all of that. They
100% responsibility of the contract.
Yeah, they don't. That doesn't happen.
That doesn't happen in the NFL.
Right. So a lot of people that don't know how these contracts and how the cap works, and they're like, well, I don't see the big deal. But Miami's going to take a hit. They're going to take a dead cap hit. That's one. And then you're going to turn around and have to pay Terry McLaurin. It doesn't make sense. It's like, okay, for example, let's see. Trade pre-June 1. They're gonna go in the hole. No, I'm sorry. Yeah, they're gonna go in the hole $28 million.
Now, when you say pre-June, I think the pre-June run stuff doesn't kick in until the
off season.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's go trade post June 1. Let's look at it. Okay, it's gonna be $12 million dead cap, so it's not too bad.
Yeah, but then you still got paid some more of the dead cap in 2026.
Right. So I mean, it's just these guys. Hey man, I don't really understand. I don't understand the logic behind it.
I don't either because
go ahead and try to do the best you can with what you got. Washington, Adam Peters, you need to stop tripping and go ahead and pay Terry McLaurin because he's an integral part of your offense. And it's like, why all of a sudden you want to start playing hardball now? It's like, just pay the man. Also, we need to consider the source that this came from because, people like to throw stuff out there that don't, there are media outlets that just like, hey, y'all, let's get some clickbait,
And that's true. That is so true, E, because I don't think the person who ever came up with this trade idea really thought this thing all the way through. That's why when I looked at it, I said, I know it doesn't make sense. Well, first of all, like I said, like we agreed, and we've said this even on group chat, it's not going to happen. That's number one. But number two, even if you want to entertain this, it doesn't make sense. And I did just a little more research just to see if there's any other reason why, besides my original idea, why it didn't make sense. And like I said, Tyreek Hill, it doesn't make sense for Washington. And then you came up with the reason why it didn't make sense for Miami. So it's a no-win trade for both teams at the end of the day.
Yeah. It's they're better off. Miami's better off staying with Tyreek Hill, and McLaurin is better off in Washington. It's just, if they wanted to trade Tyreek Hill, then they need to find a team that's going to give where they're not in a position where they're going to have to hurry up and extend what they get for it. Because now you're just spending more money than you wanted to spend. And it's like it's not making sense. It's not making sense. So, yeah, let's get back to the Hall of Fame. I, for the life of me, don't understand 4 guys. Now, the 4 guys that went in were more than deserving. Oh Lord, do we want to tackle that?
Let me just say this. Let me say this real quick.
We talked about that last week.
Carl, we touched on this last week, man. Listen. Unless a trade actually happens, it's not going to happen. Okay, he's going to get paid before that Philadelphia Eagles game on Thursday Night Football. Just relax, calm down, and move on. Because you know what? I know of a Cowboys insider who hasn't even touched on the story. He's not even talking about it on Twitter. He doesn't even care about the story.
It's much ado about nothing.
It is. It really is. Jerry Jones did this last year. He paid CeeDee Lamb late. He paid Dak Prescott late. He paid Dez Bryant in July, right before the franchise tag deadline. Listen, I'm going to tell y'all something. He paid Emmitt Smith after a week 2 loss, and they were down 0-2 record-wise. Okay? That happened in 93 after winning the Super Bowl. So Jerry Jones been doing this for decades.
Yes.
People need to relax. This is
And
old news.
And to be fair, Jerry Jones ain't the only person who does it. He's not the only, general manager / owner who does this type of thing.
He's just the biggest name.
Right. So, it doesn't make sense. Granted, I understand your frustration, fans that are frustrated. Washington fans that are frustrated with Terry McLaurin. Dallas fans that are frustrated about the Micah Parsons thing.
And the Bengals with Trey Hendrickson.
Yeah, and the Bengals with Trey Hendrickson. For some reason, I don't know why, it's above my head on this one, but for some reason, there are GMs who just feel like they just gonna sit there and wait. They're not gonna pay the person. They're not gonna start negotiations until much later. They're not gonna, even try to sit down and say, okay, how much you want? Okay, this is what we're looking at. They do it late. Don't ask me why. I don't know. But that's just how it is, And it's not as difficult as you think it is especially when you have players at the top of their markets. Micah Parsons at the top of his market. Trey Hendrickson is just probably the top of that second tier of the pass rusher market.
Right.
He doesn't, not Myles Garrett money, not TJ Watt money, but right in that ballpark. Terry McLaurin's kind of the top of the second tier. But when we talk about Micah Parsons, we said it, we talked about this off the air. Micah Parsons probably is the second best player on that team. You want to lock that in. We always talk about building teams. We talk about core pillars, and then we talk about ancillary and tertiary players, secondary and tertiary players. When I say secondary, I don't mean defensive backs, but the core pillars of your team, you don't move. You make sure that they're there and they retire from your team. That not go somewhere else, then come back and sign a one-day contract. I'm talking about they are there. When they decide to stop playing, they return from your team because they're just that good. You got core pillars. At this point, Micah Parsons is a core pillar. And if some of y'all wondering who I was talking about when I say he's the first best player the best player on the team is CeeDee Lamb.
Mm-hmm.
CeeDee Lamb's the best player on the Cowboys. I'll probably put Dak Prescott third, maybe fourth. But, you don't piss off your top tier talent. That's the issue. And this is a little bit different than other negotiations because of, all of the things that was said about this man. It's one thing when you have, GM gets in front of the microphone. He says, well, we definitely want such and such player X back because player X is an integral part of our team. Player X has helped us get many victories. He's been responsible, a large part of our success in the recent past. we definitely want him back. We're going to work out a deal. We're going to do da-da-da-da-da. Now, they may sit there and procrastinate, but they at least come out and say that. You flip around, look at Jerry Jones. Jerry Jones is like, yeah, well, we didn't have him for 6 games. Are we going to really have – like, bro, and we've talked about this before. I don't want to be the dead horse. I don't want to be the dead horse, but, you don't do that. You don't do that because I'm willing to bet that things would have probably been a lot better had he not had that press conference. Now, granted, before I go any further, it is a negotiation tactic for players to ask for a trade. That's just what it is. This has been a tactic for about the last 3 years. Players have done this. They either say it themselves or they have somebody close to them in their camp put it out on social media that they finna ask for a trade, blah, 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 so on and so forth. It's been done different ways, but the whole gist of it is the same. And it's been done as far back as I know. I can think about Deebo Samuel's deal in San Francisco. He was one of the first ones like, I want to ask for a trade. He had his brother. He had his brother tweet out, yeah, we asked him for a trade. He didn't ask for one, but they put it out there in the atmosphere to try to get to put some oil on the wheels, to grease the wheels and make this thing move quickly. And then what happened? He got a deal. Fast forward. Brandon Ayuk did the same thing. He got a locker next to Deebo Samuel. Hey, man, you know what? Just ask for a trade. They going to move. Oh, okay. I'm going to ask for a trade. Guess what? Terry McLaurin. Hey, man, I'm going to ask for a trade.
Myles Garrett.
I'm going to ask for a trade. Boom, they dropped the Brinks truck on him. They didn't even back it up. They dropped it on him. And they killed all that noise. So, I skipped one. You're right. Myles Garrett. It was Myles Garrett. Then it was Terry McLaurin.
Mm-hmm.
On a lower level, Juwan Jennings, pay me or trade me. He at camp right now. They hadn't even paid him yet, but they will. But it's a common tactic. So when the news came out that Michael Parsons said he's asking for a trade, I said, we just sat back and grinned. Randy did, I did, Steve did. We all just said like, yeah, that's what they do. And the casuals, they'll be like, oh my God, he has my trade. Oh, Jason Sky's falling, chicken little. And it's like, bro, chill. Like they gonna get it done. They'll get the deal done. It'll be late, but they'll get the deal done. And now the fallout from that can be a problem because if he's not getting that full camp experience, he's gonna start the season rusty.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Start slow. And then there's a possibility of a soft tissue injury.
Mm-hmm.
Because you're not getting the full workout.
Mm-hmm.
Talking about Parsons, talking about Terry McLaurin, talking about those guys,
Yeah, definitely.
And it affect your team's success.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like that procrastination on the part of the GM, that's a problem because players ask for a trade, you get the deal done, but you get it done late. Now the player's rusty, and it takes a while to get him ramped up. These NFL players are like diesel engines. It takes a minute to get them going good. Once they get going good, they good. But it takes a while to get them warmed up.
Yeah.
So, that's the issue that we're dealing with right now. It's bad on both ends. It's going to get done, yeah, but nobody likes to see that. As fans, we don't like to see that, So, let's get back to our Hall of Fame talk.
Yeah, so congratulations to former Eagles, and he played for a couple other teams, cornerback Eric Allen. Congratulations to former Vikings pass rusher Jared Allen.
These two.
Congratulations to
Antonio Gates.
Hold on, wait. Big congratulations to former Packers wide receiver Sterling Sharp, man. We're gonna definitely touch on that. And congratulations to former Chargers tight end Antonio Gates, and big congratulations to him because he is the first Hall of Famer who never played college football. I want you to think about that for a minute.
That's impressive.
Hall of Famer that never ever played college football.
Mm-hmm.
Antonio Gates is in the Hall of Fame. And yes, he was one of the best 2 tight ends in his era because it was him and Tony Gonzalez like crazy. Tony Gonzalez was in the same division most of his career in Kansas City and a little bit in Atlanta. But Antonio Gates, man, I mean, came out of Kent State, played basketball, converted to tight end, and I mean, he just took over immediately with the Chargers.
He just hit the ground and just started and hit the ground and hit it running. Like it's amazing.
It was cleats on the gridiron.
Yeah, I mean, just and it's crazy. I don't know why. I don't know how. Was it this? Wait, let's be honest. He was naturally talented.
Yeah.
Physically, he's physically, athletically talented, but
yeah, definitely.
Convert from being a basketball player to, excuse me, from being a basketball player to being not just making an NFL team, but being one of the best in the league during your time.
Yes.
That's nothing to sneeze at.
No, it's not.
You don't sneeze it. That's amazing. And then to take it to another level to where you play so well that now you're a Hall of Famer, you're NFL Hall of Famer. There's guys that play football, pee-wee, junior high school, college, and played a full career in the NFL and didn't even sniff
the Pro Bowl.
Sniff the Hall of Fame. And this guy, like that alone within itself is amazing. He's like, he'll go down as one of the greatest tight ends to ever play the game.
Yes.
And kudos to him. Like, I think I want to play football and go out and do it. Not just do it, but on a high level. Like, that's nuts. Faster than a linebacker, stronger than a safety. That's that's the formula for great tight ends at this point.
And guess what? He was a hell of a red zone threat because he used that rebound ability to high point that football in the end zone.
Yeah,
he was a legitimate threat. Jared Allen for the Vikings, man, he was a heck of a pass rusher.
Cowboy.
Yeah, he's definitely a cowboy.
That camp roping celebration when he.
Yeah, he's definitely a cowboy, man. Jared Allen's a cowboy all the way through, man. But he's a fantastic pass rusher for the Vikings. I thought he played for a second team, but maybe I'm tripping.
Yeah, he played for the Chiefs.
The who?
The Chiefs.
That's what I thought. Okay, I thought so. But yeah, he was a heck of a pass rusher, man. Getting after quarterbacks, terrorizing offenses. Always a nightmare for offensive tackles, especially on the left side. What's up?
I'm sorry. He played for 4 teams. I would be remiss without naming his other teams. He played for Kansas City, the Vikings, the Chicago Bears, and the Carolina Panthers.
Oh, I definitely forgot about those last 2 teams.
Yeah.
He
made his hay
with Kansas City, Minnesota.
In Kansas City, Minnesota. So
yeah, okay.
teams. But he played for 4 teams.
Okay, yeah. Well, man, sometimes I know it counts, but sometimes it just feels like it doesn't. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I hate to say it. But anyway, Jared Allen, congratulations to him. Congratulations to Eric Allen, who played for the Eagles, the Raiders, and there was a 3rd team he played for. But he was part of that Buddy Ryan's defense, Philadelphia Eagles, especially in 1991. The Saints. Okay. So Eagles, Raiders, and Saints. He was part of that Buddy Ryan defense, especially in 91 when they had those guys, man, up front. Reggie White, both of them late, but Reggie White, the late Jerome Brown, Seth Joyner, Clyde Simmons. He was on the team. Andre Waters was on the team.
I still don't understand how that team did not win the Super Bowl.
Randall Cunningham.
Yeah.
He got hurt.
That's what it was.
1991.
But that space and time, just that, not just 1 year, but that space that they had all those players that was so good.
You're right. Because what year did Buddy Ryan get to Philadelphia? Because really, I'm sorry, you're really looking at a real short time frame. I know what you're saying, but you're really looking at a short time frame for that team to be together because Buddy Ryan got to Philly in '86, so that was right after the Super Bowl.
Yeah, that was right after he had just won a ring with the Bears.
With the Bears, okay. Reggie White got there. When did Reggie get there? Sorry, guys. We got to make sure we give you accurate information. Okay, he got there 85, so he was there a year before Buddy Ryan.
Okay.
Okay. And then Jerome Brown. I don't know when Jerome Brown was drafted.
Give me a moment.
Yeah, I know. I'm trying to find it too. He was drafted 87. So yeah, I guess that 4-year span, I'm gonna say 4 years between 87 and 91.
Those are some good things.
But then again, you gotta look at who won the Super Bowl because Washington won the Super Bowl. Do you sit there and say, hey, Philadelphia's better than Washington? 88, 89, that's when you guys won the Super Bowl. 1990 is when the Giants won the Super Bowl. And then 91, Washington won the Super Bowl again. So, that was a tough conference. Because you say, yeah, Philadelphia, but you got San Francisco, Washington, and the Giants.
Dallas was starting to come along. Well, no, not yet.
Dallas came along in 91.
91, yeah.
Yeah, more so 91. So, and that was Philadelphia's last year of dominance because Jerome Brown killed in that solo car crash, I think the summer of 92, before the season even began. So, Dallas at the tail end of that. But so like I said, you're looking at San Francisco, New York Giants, and Washington. Two of those teams are in the division.
Yeah.
So I mean, that's tough, man. Like I guess if Philadelphia was in somebody else's division or even in the AFC, maybe they might have had an easier time. I don't know.
But we went down the rabbit hole on that one. We started.
Yeah, I know. Anyway, congratulations to Packers legend wide receiver Sterling Sharp, and him and his younger brother Shannon are the first set of brothers to make it into the Hall of Fame. So that's a huge, huge congratulations. Long overdue. He was part of the senior committee that got in when he got in.
Which is because,
yeah. Played 7 years of football, suffered a neck injury, but if you take his career, and I always say this, if you take his career, multiply it by 2, he's definitely a Hall of Famer, okay? But he's a Hall of Famer, one of the best wide receivers of all time. Just happy for him, man. Just happy for him. What about you? What you think?
I'm just, and we're going to get more into it later on in the show and probably our next segment, but it's long overdue. And this is the problem that I have with the Hall of Fame. There's no way Sterling Sharp should have to wait that long to go into the Hall of Fame. And we're going to talk about some players later on. That's like when we start calling out these players, those of you who remember watching these guys play, you're going to be like, wait, they not in the Hall of Fame? That's crazy.
Or even if you just know the history.
Yeah. If you know your history or if you actually watched these guys play when they were playing, you'd be like, that's nuts that this guy's not in the Hall of Fame. But there's no way Sterling Sharp should have waited that long. And this is my point. To the point where he's on the senior committee to go into the Hall of Fame? No. And we know about his injury and it shortened his career, but while he was playing, he was sick with it. I mean, sick with it.
He was one of the best in his time.
Yes. And people can say, well, he kind of got overshadowed by guys like Jerry Rice and Michael Irvin and Andre Rison and stuff like, because they all played around that same era.
Yep.
I mean, you talking about 3-time All-Pro, 5-time Pro Bowl, 8,000 yards receiving, 65 touchdowns. That's saying a lot. There are guys that played longer than him that have not been able to put these stats up. you know, and people just really forgot about him and kind of, I don't want to say swept him under the rug, but that's what it felt like, you know. And I was really happy when they announced that he made it, you know. And it was worth it. Not to, and then to have his brother there, you know, and his brother put his jacket on, you know. That's crazy, man. I was like, that is so awesome. So, and again, the first pair of brothers. There've been a lot of brothers in the NFL.
Yes.
There are a lot now, but like we haven't seen it before, and I think it's gonna be a while before we see it again. You know, two poor little boys from Georgia. You know, so but yeah, Sterling Sharp, man, hats off to him. He had an incredible career. Ain't no telling what he would have been able to do had he not had his injury, that neck injury. Ain't no telling where his stats would be or how many more All Pros or Pro Bowls he would have made. So, you know, but that's a good segue to talk about the players that are still waiting to get into the Hall of Fame. And when we read off these names, and every time we read off a name, I'm going to pull up some stats and we're going to talk about it. And y'all going to be at home watching like, are you serious? This dude not in the Hall? Nope, he's not. What they waiting on? I know most of y'all going to be like, what is it? What are they waiting on? If you know your history or you watch these guys play, you're going to be saying it. You know, some of y'all watching right now be like, who is that? You know, so, but when we get to this list, y'all going to be like, man, they tripping. So with that, Brandon?
So we have a lot of players on two separate lists. Actually, some of them cross-checked each other. Offensive lineman, former Washington Redskins, when they were called the Redskins, Joe Jacoby.
One of the Hogs.
Played in the 80s. That's right, the Hogs. Won 3 Super Bowls, went to 4 of them. If I'm not mistaken, probably a part of the all 80s decade team. Okay. He should be in the Hall of Fame now. And I think he's, unfortunately, like Sterling Sharp, he's going to be coming off that senior committee.
Mm-hmm.
And so that means the senior committee is going to get him in. But I think the senior committee need to go ahead and get him in because to me, he's one of the best offensive linemen to ever tie his cleats up and put helmet and shoulder pads on. You got anything on any thoughts on Joe Jacoby, man?
4-time Pro Bowler, 2-time All-Pro, 3-time Super Bowl champ. Yes, and he was in the all 80s team. You know, the Redskins don't win those Super Bowls if he's not on that offensive line.
That's so true.
They don't. The man is 66 years old. He made the Pro Bowl and made All-Pro in 2 positions. A lot of people don't know that. He made All-Pro as a tackle, and he made All-Pro as a guard.
I didn't know that.
Yes. So it's like, what are we talking about here? Like, what are we talking about? Like, it's crazy what a logjam there is in the Hall of Fame. And you look at these guys, you read their stats, and you're sitting there going, how is he not? How is he not? So yeah, we can go to the next person because we got a lot of people. Y'all, if you have thoughts about who you think should be in the Hall or who you think shouldn't be, when we read some of these names, you know, feel free to comment in the comment box and, you know, bring up names. We might have we might compare notes. We might have some of the same people that you're talking about. But feel free to interact and say, hey, what about blah blah blah. So yeah, we go to the next one.
How about L.C. Greenwood? Former Pittsburgh Steeler. Won 4 Super Bowls in 6 years. And I know he played for the Steelers dynasty. And a lot of those guys have a hard time getting in because it seemed like you putting in too many players into the Hall of Fame. But when you're great, you're great. There's no way around it. Okay? I get it. Terry Bradshaw's in. Franco Harris is in. Lynn Swann is in. John Starwoff is in. I get it. Mel Blount is in. I get it. But L.C. Greenwood is just as Eric said early in the show, a core pillar. And a core pillar of a team like that has to get in.
I just like to point out that he attended an HBCU. He's a product of Arkansas Pine Bluff University, SWAC. Well, they weren't SWAC at the time, but it's still an HBCU. So I just, always prop up my HBCU players. But yeah, defensive end, 4-time Super Bowl champion, all 70s team, 6-time Pro Bowl, 2-time All-Pro.
Now, see, when you're on the all 70s team right there, man, that should be an automatic ticket to the Hall of Fame, man. Yeah, it should be an automatic ticket. When you all decade, whether it's 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, whatever,
yeah,
that should put you in the Hall of Fame. We got to get these guys in. And I'm sure, just like Joe Jacoby, he should be on the senior committee. Let's get him in. Let's get him in.
And here's the thing. Speaking of the senior committee stuff, they always have one senior committee person. And I don't want to sound morbid. But these guys ain't long for this world. That's another thing that makes me sick about it. Like I think they should bring in like 2, 3, maybe even 4 senior committee guys, because give them their flowers while they're living. Don't give a jacket to their kid or their widow. Get a jacket, put the jacket on them while they're alive to see it. They didn't play all these games. They left their blood, their sweat, and their tears out there on the gridiron, and they deserve to be immortalized and get to see it before God calls them home to glory. That they get to that point, they want to posthumously give them Hall of Fame stuff. Like, no, man, let them be there to bask in that glory. So they need to expand the senior committee. They need to expand the classes, period. But the senior committee, for sure, they shouldn't be just one old guy. Oh, yeah, we got these guys over here, and we got this one old guy over here. We're going to give him that. He should have been in like about 15, 16 years ago. But, hey, come on, bro. 20 years ago, 30 years ago, we should have put him in. But it's ridiculous, man. It's really ridiculous. I could get on my soapbox, honestly, for hours about this. I really
definitely.
I just feel like there's put the guys in, man. Like, why does it have to be? Because normally it's what, 7 guys? Normally, if I'm not mistaken,
6, 7 guys. Yeah, that's about a good number overall. Yeah. And my thing is, and let's. Because I'm looking at the rest, I'm looking at some more of these names. I'm like, yo, a lot of these guys are probably on the senior committee as well. Steve Tasker, Phil Simms, Jim Plunkett. And you know what I think? I think 6 guys from the modern list needs to get in, and then 4 guys from the senior committee need to get in.
10 is good.
I think 10 is good.
10 a year. That's good. I like that. I honestly, now me, I go to extremes. I want more than that, but 10 is a good compromise.
Because
I'd like there'll be a dozen every year, honestly.
Because like I said,
real.
No, yeah. I get it. Because like I said, Jim Plunkett is on the list, and Jim Plunkett had a fantastic career. Former Patriot, former Raider. He played for one more team. And from what I understand, because I read about his career, when he went to the Raiders, he went in as a backup quarterback. And that one year, I think you muted yourself. That first year with the Raiders, the first year with the Raiders, he was a backup and he didn't play at all. But then that second year, he was thrust into a starting role. They ended up going to the Super Bowl and winning. And they beat the Washington then Redskins, who had just won the Super Bowl the previous year. So shout out to him. He should be in the Hall of Fame. Jim Marshall, former defensive end for the Vikings.
Man, listen.
Part of the Purple People Eaters. You said what?
I said, man, listen. The messed up part is that everybody is still going to be taught. Everybody still remembers Jim Marshall for running the wrong way. They don't talk about if, like I said, if you're really deep into your NFL history, you'll remember that clip of him picking up a ball. It was a fumble. Picked up a fumble and he took off running down the field, but he was running the wrong way.
Run a long way.
And that's what he's known for. But nobody talks about the 130 and a half sacks that this man had. 130. And watch this now. Watch this. He's no longer with us. So even if we do put him in, his children are going to have to represent for him, which is awful. You know, they started counting sacks in the middle of somebody like L.C. Greenwood, Jim Marshall. They started counting sacks later in these guys' careers. So realistically, they probably got more sacks than was registered.
So there's an unofficial list and an official list on Pro Football Reference. All-time sack leaders. Because they did that. So on the unofficial list, who just said? Jim Marshall?
Jim Marshall.
Yeah, 130 and a half sacks. So yeah, he's tied for 22nd on that list, on the unofficial list. Because if you look, you see unofficial, it says since 1960, and then to the right says official leaders. Matter of fact, I tell you what, let me do y'all one better.
But to your point, while you're looking that up, they didn't start. For fun fact, ladies and gentlemen, are watching at home. They didn't start counting sacks as an official stat until 1982.
So since 1982, exactly. So do y'all see where it's highlighted here in the yellow to the left? I move my mouse around a little bit so you can kind of see. This is Jim Marshall name right here, 130 and a half sacks.
Are you trying to share your screen?
Oh, you can't. No, they can't see it.
No.
Oh, I'm sorry. Add to the stage. There you go.
There we go.
Let me go back. Sorry. Right here. Y'all see it? You see it?
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's where it is. Also another name. Now he played more recently. He played for the Chargers and went to Super Bowl and lost to the 49ers. A to me completely forgotten name. Leslie O'Neal, 132 and a half sacks.
Oh my God, yes. How do you forget? See that, man, don't have me go off on it, man. Look.
That is to me a completely forgotten name. Like, I'm sorry, I forgot about him.
Yeah, he gets swept under the rug. It's like, dude.
Donald brought up a name in Ken Burrow, wide receiver. He thinks he should be in the Hall of Fame.
Ken Burrow. Keep going. I'm gonna look it up.
All right, go ahead. More name. Oh, here's one that's near and dear to your heart, and he's definitely on the same. He should be on the same committee. Former 49ers running back Roger Craig.
Oh man, look, I got mixed feelings about Roger Craig. Okay, now that being said, you put aside the one thing that made me stop liking Roger Craig. You put that away. The man is long overdue for a Hall of Fame induction. Roger Craig was Christian McCaffrey before Christian McCaffrey. Roger Craig was Marshall Faulk before Marshall Faulk. Roger Craig was LaDainian Tomlinson before he walked so all those guys could run.
No, he crawled so some of those guys can walk, and then some of those other guys can run.
Exactly. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, Roger Craig was the first player in NFL history to catch and rush for 1,000 yards each. 2,000 all-purpose yards in one season. He was the first one to do that. And before we go any further, let's talk about Ken Burrow for a second. I'm gonna come back to Roger Craig. Ken Burrow he played for the Saints and the Oilers.
Okay.
He had 7,100 yards career and 49 touchdowns. Now the yards are nice. He was a 2-time Pro Bowler. He was never an All-Pro, but he was 2-time All-Pro. Oh, and big ups. He's a swag product. Came out of Texas Southern. But yeah, that can be a little bit debatable.
Yeah, it could be definitely debatable.
because I think he probably needed a chip on a championship under his belt, or at least a couple of All Pros. But the stats are not bad at all. But getting back to Roger Craig, with the advent and implementation of the West Coast offense by Bill Walsh, Roger Craig really came into his own, because this was the first offense that really, really focused on throwing to the running back. And a lot of his runs, a lot of his yards, rather, were after the catch. You get those swing passes out of the backfield, screen passes, angle routes, all those things like that. He would catch those and take them to the house, or get significant yardage. Or sometimes he catch a wheel route. You see Jerry Rice running a post, and then here's Roger Craig coming out on a wheel route. And everybody's paying attention to Rice, and Roger Craig over there by himself with a linebacker 3 yards behind him, because he didn't toasted the linebacker that's trying to cover him. But Roger Craig, I guess I got mixed feelings about Roger Craig as a Niners fan. But what I'm upset about him about is petty in compared to what he's done in his career. Just to pull it up, Roger Craig played from 83 to 93, 10 years. Okay. 8,000 yards, 8,100 yards rushing, 56 touchdowns. That's just his rushing. Okay, but look at this. 4-time Pro Bowler, 1-time All-Pro, 3-time Super Bowl champ, all 80s team.
All 80s team. Again, like I said,
I'm
when
not
you're an all-decade team, you should be in the Hall of Fame.
Hey, he's the 1988 AP Offensive Player of the Year.
Offensive Player of the Year. That's by the Associated Press. Again, that's another ticket to get you in the Hall of Fame. This kind of stuff right here is taking way too long to get players in the Hall of Fame, and to me, it doesn't make any sense that this continues to happen.
It's crazy, and it's like, dude, like what are we talking about here?
Right.
This is going to his receiving stats. Hold on, let me see. Where we at? I'm looking at the wrong thing. I can't get the total. So receiving yards. Well, let's do this. Scrimmage yards. We'll just add receiving and rushing. Scrimmage yards. You ready?
Yeah.
13,100.
It's a lot of scrimmage yards.
His 17 game scrimmage average. Like if you take, let me give you this stat. If you take all of his receiving and rushing yards, and you average it by 17, he would average 1,349 yards a season from scrimmage. That's the average. That's nuts. That's crazy.
Definitely.
Yeah, that's crazy. And you sitting up here telling me that this man ain't in the Hall of Fame yet? Well, what are we talking about here? And again, as me taking my fan hat off and putting on just looking at it as objectively as a football analyst, it's like, what are we talking about here? Come on, man. I need to find out what he is in all-time rushing. If you just took away his receiving and just looked at rushing, where is he at?
Give me a second.
Because I want to say he's probably top 20. Probably. Yeah. I mean, play for the Niners. That's what he's mostly known for, is playing for the Niners. But he played for the Raiders, and he also played for the Vikings.
No, he's not top 20. You said, what's his 8,000? He's number 46.
Okay, he's 46. Okay. My mistake.
But you also got to remember, too, a lot of players have passed him since he retired, because you got to remember he pre-retired in 93.
Right.
So the guys like Willis McGahee, he has passed him. Terry Allen has passed him. Ezekiel Elliott has passed him. Mon Green has passed him, so forth and so on. So a lot of guys have passed him.
During his time, though, he was one of the best backs.
Right.
And to that point, Now we're talking about statistical categories. If you are, in my opinion, top 10 all time in any category, that's automatic. Now, in the case of someone like a Roger Craig, he's got a pretty impressive resume. But if you look at where he was in the realm of the players in his same position during his era, then you were like, oh wow. It's like, it holds more weight. He's 46 overall, but to your point, people have passed it. We're going to talk about some other players where there have been guys that have passed him, but during his time, he was probably up there, top 20, top 10 maybe, So it's an interesting discussion to be had, to say the least. But let's go to the next name.
I'll tell you what, this next name plays a position that absolutely gets no glory whatsoever. But if you're a football fan like me and Eric, man, you believe that this guy should be in the Hall of Fame, okay?
I know who you're going to say. Go ahead.
Nose tackle Vince Wilfork.
Man, look.
Former New England Patriot, multiple time Super Bowl champion. Played a little bit in Houston, finished his career in Houston. Went to University of Miami. One of the best nose tackles, if not the best nose tackle of all time. Vince Wilfork should be in the Hall of Fame. Listen, I know stats. I get it. But nose tackle is not going to put up stats.
It's a thankless
nose tackle is going. Hold on. I'm sorry. This is the defense line coach that's starting to come out of me.
Okay, go ahead. Let's get it. Go ahead.
The nose tackle position, its job is, especially in the 3-4, is to sit there and eat up blocks, especially draw double teams and take away as many gaps as possible, especially those 2 A gaps. If he can shut down the center by himself and one of them guards got to help him out or both guards got to help out, then he's done his job, because that lets the other 10 players flow around him. And that's what happened in New England. Those other 10 guys, they were just able to make plays a lot because of him. All they had to do is, play, run responsibility, handle the B gaps, handle the C gap, and play coverage and make life easier. That's what Vince Wilfork did. That's why he should be a Hall of Famer. I know he may never get a Hall of Fame, which to me is sad, but he belongs in the Hall of Fame.
Well, we all nose tackles. I'll bring up another one. Haloti Ngata.
Haloti Ngata is another one for the Baltimore Ravens. That's right.
Oh, my God. But it's a thankless job.
It really is.
When you're a good nose tackle, I'm talking about 0-to-1 technique, nose tackle.
Mm-hmm.
The tackle knows your name's not going to get called very often, because you facilitate big defensive plays by eating blocks. You take it on the center, you take it on the guard sometimes at the same time. In some cases, like Vince Wilfork, both guards in the center, and now you got the linebackers flying through the gaps that you created. You're literally lead blocking for the linebackers, pretty much. And so a lot of times you're not going to get the sacks. You're not going to get all the tackles, But most of the time, if there's a good nose tackle, usually the rest of the defense is good, because they facilitate big plays by the defense. And they just don't get the credit. And, Vince Wilfork and Haloti Ngata, that's just Haloti Ngata, 5-time Pro Bowl, 2-time All-Pro, Super Bowl champ. 32 and a half sacks is pretty good for a nose tackle.
Yeah, it is.
For a nose tackle, that's you doing something special, because nose tackles, they're not known for getting sacks.
And you cannot be selfish playing nose tackle.
No, because a lot of times you're not going to get the tackle. You're not going to get the sack. Maybe it's your job, again, to go just stuff up things and let the linebackers behind you fly around the Ted and the Mike. Fly around behind you. It's like that sometimes. But to your point, Vince Wilfork, one of the best to ever do it. Haloti Ngata, also one of the best to ever do it. So, yeah, man. Let's keep going, because we're gonna make somebody mad tonight.
All right.
Besides me, because it's gonna be somebody that's gonna be like, "What? when we call the name. What you mean he not in the Hall of Fame?
All right, what I want to do, I
Yeah.
want to do is I want to bring up two more names, and then I want to move forward to a different topic, but still staying on Hall of Fame. Okay.
Okay.
The next topic, another player who plays a position that does not get talked about a lot at all. Okay. And my thing is this: we need to talk about these positions because you got kids that sit here and watch football, and they're like, "Well, I don't know nothing about this position," or you don't. This could be a ticket for you if you're playing high school football to maybe get to college. You know what I'm saying? If you are capable of playing this position, or if you are, and if you're capable of playing this position, like I said, get your ticket to college. Former Buffalo Bills special teams captain Steve Tasker. Okay,
The ace
special
of
teams
ace.
guy. Special teams guy. Okay, now he played for the Buffalo Bills and lost all 4 Super Bowls with the Buffalo Bills, but then ended up playing with the Green Bay Packers, I believe, and winning the Super Bowl with them. Okay. Now, Steve Tasker gets on my nerves because he's probably one of the best known for chasing down Leon Lett and knocking the football out of his arm.
That was Don Beebe.
Oh, that's right. That was Don Beebe. Oh, that's right. It was Beebe. You're right. Okay. I'm glad you corrected me. Thank you. Well, anyway, Steve Tasker is still one of the best special teams guys ever. Matter of fact, he is the best special team guys ever. And he should be someone that a kid can say and say, you know what? I may not be a star player on offense, on defense, but if I can be a star player on special teams, that can give me a ticket to college to play college football.
This man made the Pro Bowl 7 times.
Yes.
Just playing special teams. Because he's technically a wide receiver, but he was a special teams ace. This man only had 51 catches his entire career. I'm not lying. He had 51 catches. He had under 800 career yards and under 10 touchdowns.
Jerry Rice never been under 51 catches.
Ever. Except for the year he got hurt. But, dude, and made the Pro Bowl 7 times just because him just flying around.
Making tackles.
Making great special teams plays.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, dude, but because I think what it is because he's not because he's not a
Hall of Fame wide receiver.
Exactly, because he's just a special teams ace.
Yeah.
Man, do we really want to put a special teams ace in the Hall of Fame? Yes, because that's the third aspect of the game. It's a tripod: offense, defense, special teams. You can have a horrible season even if your offense and defense are good. Your special teams are bad.
Yeah, because
it costs you.
Like you said, special teams ace. Somebody got to make those plays out there. You need a kicker, you need a punter, and you need a return man. But you will put a return man in the Hall of Fame, Devin Hester, but you're not going to put a special teams ace in there? Come on now.
Yeah, man. It's crazy.
It is crazy.
So, but I think he's gonna be waiting.
Yeah. And I'm sure he's on the same committee as well.
Yeah. Yeah, he's 63. He's 63.
Okay. Last player I want to touch on is one of the best centers of all time. If you watch enough football in the late 90s, mainly in the 2000s, this center was an extremely smart center, and it made people realize that they didn't know that you need to have a very, very smart center. Jeff Saturday, formerly of the Indianapolis Colts, and finished his career with the Green Bay Packers.
Yep, I knew he was going to say that.
Jeff Saturday, him and Peyton Manning will call out pass protections like it was no tomorrow. They were trying to figure out who was coming and who wasn't. And they said it was a chess match when they played the Ravens between Ray Lewis and Peyton Manning, but I think Jeff Saturday had every bit to do with that as well.
Yeah. Let me see. He's eligible, and 6-time Pro Bowl, 2-time All-Pro, and a Super Bowl champion.
Yep.
So and probably one of the best centers to play the game.
Yes.
probably after it slipped my mind right when I was going to say the center for the Steelers during that dynasty.
Pouncey?
No, during that dynasty. The Bradshaw years.
Mike Webster.
Mike Webster. He's probably the best center since Mike Webster. It slipped my mind right when I was thinking about it. I was getting ready to say his name and it went zoop. But yeah, he's probably the best center in the game since Mike Webster, probably. And he hadn't been waiting that long, but he's still waiting. And you know how they first of all, let's be real, they do linemen dirty.
They do.
The Pro Bowl, I keep saying Pro Bowl. Excuse me, I'm sorry. The Hall of Fame, you'll be hard pressed to see very many linemen go in. Usually it's the glamorous position of the offensive line. And yes, the O-line has a glamour position. It's left tackle. Left tackle is glamour position. If you they say offensive line is not a glamorous position, but if you want to look at the 5 positions on the offensive line, which one is the most glamorous? It's the left tackle.
Left tackle, yes.
The ones that get paid the most, they the ones that get talked about the most because they keep the quarterback upright. Unless your quarterback's left-handed, then it's your right tackle. Your right tackle is the man.
That's right.
But center guards, you have to be one of the Avengers. You got to be on the Justice League, doggone near to make the Hall of Fame. It's not good.
It's unfortunate.
It's unfortunate. And it's like, which brings me back to all the way back around, expand the doggone classes.
Well, I tell you what, we about to give everybody another reason why y'all need to expand the classes, because guess what? Here's the list of everyone who's eligible for the first time for the 2026 class. Y'all ready for this one?
Let's go.
This is backloaded. This is loaded. Okay.
And look, it's gonna be some guys on before you start. There are gonna be guys on this list that's not gonna get in 2026. And
they may not even get in 2027 either.
Yeah, there's gonna be some guys that are gonna have to wait. And some guys it's a sure thing, but then you got some guys that's like, wait.
Okay.
We're be talking about this 3-4 years from now. How come such and such ain't in yet? That's what we'll be saying.
Okay, now I'm gonna start with guys who probably just won't get in, or probably have to wait a long time. Okay.
All right.
Jarrell Casey.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I love this player, but Sean Lee. Okay. Todd Gurley. Now, this one may get in at some point. I just don't know when. But David DeCastro. Okay. Kickers would take a long time for to get in, but this one won 3 rings, so maybe he get in at some point. Steven Gostkowski.
The kicker?
Yeah.
Now you know how they do kickers.
Yeah, that's another position.
That man might be in a wheelchair with no help.
Don't say that, man.
Holding him up on the stage before they finally give him his flowers.
Both Pouncey twins are eligible.
I like the older one. The younger one may have to wait. But they both going to have to wait their linemen.
Yeah.
They're going to have to wait because they linemen. They just do linemen dirty, man.
Dez Bryant.
I don't know.
I've already told you how I feel about it. I mean, I love Dez Bryant. I do. But I already told you how I feel about that. Okay.
I don't know about Dez getting in, period.
Yeah, see.
Because let's pause for a second talking about that. Wide receiver is one of the biggest log jams into the Hall of Fame. There are wide receivers that have been retired. They got grandkids still waiting to get in. So it's like, and the thing is like, when you look at Dez Bryant, you're going to say, before Dez Bryant get in, we got to put in such and such. Okay.
You got to put in Torrey Holt and Reggie Wayne. And Jimmy Smith still hasn't got in yet either. And Anquan Bolden.
And Anquan Bolden? Isn't Anquan Bolden on that list?
Yeah, Anquan Bolden was on that list. We didn't get a chance to talk about him.
Yeah.
Because I want to get to this. Well, we got to get to this, okay? Greg Olsen, tight end.
Yeah.
Now, he might get in.
Yeah.
At some point. Shady McCoy.
Okay, so let me put my feelings aside about him as an analyst and just look at what he's done.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you can't deny him. But Roger Craig Cross or Shady McCoy can walk. So if Roger don't get in, Shady don't get in until Roger get in. That's my opinion.
Alex Smith.
No. As much as I love him, no.
I understand. All right, now here are guys who should be first ballot Hall of Famers, but we're not even sure. I mean, I'm sure. Let's just talk about them. Phillip Rivers.
I tell you what, if they don't let him in before he passes away, he'll have plenty of kids to go up to the stage and accept and unveil his bust, because that man got some cheering. But I'm being funny, but
Stop.
Yeah, but yeah, man. Let's look at this. Phillip Rivers, 8-time Pro Bowler.
The only thing that stops him from getting in is that he doesn't have a ring. That's the only thing that stops him.
The ring and no All Pros.
You know what? It's crazy because that's another thing too. Guys don't get in because they are overshadowed by other players at the position. Tom Brady, Peyton Manning, Eli Manning, Ben Roethlisberger, Drew Brees, Aaron Rodgers, Brett Favre. Like, it was a stack of quarterbacks in that era.
Yeah.
It was a stack of quarterbacks in that era. Y'all know. Come on. Everybody on the show knows. And unless you're 15 years old or younger.
Yeah, and they basically get kind of put on the back burner per se.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Jason Witten.
Oh yeah. I'm okay. Jason Witten. Yeah, I feel like he should go in. Maybe I don't know about this year because of the small classes. But if they had an expanded class, then yeah, if we talked about like a dozen going in, yeah, or we talked
I already know it's not gonna be a dozen,
or 10 going in, yeah. But he's gonna probably have to wait. He won't be first ballot, even though I think he's phenomenal.
Now this one should be a first ballot Hall of Famer at quarterback from Purdue, Drew Brees.
Oh yeah, record breaker. Yeah, he done broke some records. I forgot how many times he's been All Pro.
And he threw for more than 5,000 yards in at least 3 different seasons, if I'm not mistaken.
Mm-hmm.
So Drew Brees should get in.
Yeah, he was a Super Bowl MVP, Super Bowl
champion, that too.
Comeback Player of the Year, 2-time All Pro, 2-time Offensive Player of the Year.
Oh yeah, he's first ballot.
He's won the Walter Payton Award, even though that's not on the field. But 13-time Pro Bowl.
Yeah, that's first ballot. That's first ballot. If he's not first ballot, I may never keep up with the Hall of Fame ever again.
Yeah, I think Andrew Christopher Brees deserves to be the end. Definitely.
All right, here's another name that's close to your heart: Frank Gore.
Third all-time in rushing. That's it. That's all I need to say. He's second only to Emmitt Smith and Walter Payton. What we talking about? If that's another one. Like how you feel about Drew Brees, that's how I feel about Frank Gore. It ain't got really nothing to do with him playing for my team. If I'm gonna say it again, I said it earlier at the top of the show. If you are in the top 10 all time in any category,
and this guy's top 3 because he's in third place.
He's third time. He's third all time rushing. There's only 2 guys that have rushed for more yards than him in the history of the league. What are we talking about here? You know what I'm saying? Like Frank the Tank. I'll never forget early in his career. I was on social media. A friend of mine had posted on Facebook a picture of Frank Gore running the ball. And I went on there and I typed Frank the Tank. And then somebody from who's a fan of another team, he's like, oh, he Frank the Plastic Tank. He garbage. This. And I said, he's going to play longer and be more notable by the end of his career than the current running back on your team. And he is.
And let me also say this about Frank Gore too, okay? This is the one football player that I always say, when somebody comes out of college and they're injury prone, they're just going to be more injury prone than the NFL. He tore his knees up at University of Miami.
Yes, he did.
He tore his knees up.
Yes, he did.
And he was with a loaded running back class at University of Miami because it was him, Clinton Portis, and Willis McGahee. And Nigel Davenport was on the team, but I think they had to move him to fullback. Okay?
Yeah.
But Frank Gore gets drafted in the 4th round by San Francisco 49ers, and now he is third, my bad. 3rd round, thank you for correcting me. 3rd round pick by the San Francisco 49ers, and this man is a Hall of Fame running back.
Yeah. And a lot of that has to do with his longevity because he pretty much defied the odds because like you said, he was very injury prone in college. He comes out to the pros and hardly ever misses a game.
Mm-hmm.
You know, he was Mr. Iron Man for a long time.
And that's something that's rare. Someone who's injury prone in college goes to Iron Man on a professional level. That's rare.
Yeah. Nickname, he's an inconvenient truth. It's an inconvenient truth that he's a first ballot Hall of Famer because you can throw out everything else. Because I know we talked about Super Bowl rings, we talked about all pros and all this stuff like that. But anytime you are top 10 all time in any category, that's a good category. Don't be top 10 all time in interceptions or fumbles. But if you top 10 in any category all time, that's automatic in. If you top 5, what are we talking about?
All right. Last one. Wide receiver from University of Pittsburgh. And he is one of those players that did not play with a great team, even though he went to one Super Bowl and lost to Pittsburgh.
But he ate.
And he was loyal to his team. Just like Joe Thomas was loyal to the Cleveland Browns, Larry Fitzgerald was loyal to those Arizona Cardinals.
Straight up 17,000 yards, 121 touchdowns, or 1,432 receptions. What are we talking about? What are we talking about? 11-time Pro Bowl, like all 2010 team. Wait. Frank Gore, Drew Brees, Larry Fitzgerald
should be locks.
We shouldn't even be having a discussion.
Lock.
Just walk in, Larry Fitzgerald. That's it.
Hold on, let me do this real quick.
It's almost on the level. Do you remember there were 2 of the greatest players who ever played the game that went into the Hall of Fame at the same year? You remember who they were?
You said what now?
There were 2 of the greatest players who ever played that position that went in the same year.
Elway and Barry?
Nope. Emmitt Smith and Jerry Rice went in the same year.
Oh, shoot.
And let me tell you something. That's one of those type of situations that was like, Emmitt Smith. What we talking about? I know that if there's any debate, I will shoot someone in this room. If I wanted to vote this, I'm like, Jerry Rice. What we talking about? What? Well, yeah, but that's what you get. That's all it is. You know what I'm saying? Somebody need to get hit with a chair. Somebody need to get shot. Whatever. Like, where's the debate? Where's the debate? Now, is Frank Gore Emmitt Smith? No. Is Larry Fitzgerald Jerry Rice? No. But when you look at what they've done, there should be very little, if any, debate about them getting into the Hall of Fame first ballot. That I put them on that tier. Yeah. Absolutely talking about nothing. Yeah, like what are we talking about?
Thank you, Twan.
Man, I couldn't be a Hall of Fame voter because I'd be in the room like, hey, man, you got to get out. But no, you got to get out. I'm about to pick up this chair. And it ain't a movie. He's talking to get the show bad.
Hey, Twan, stop it.
Yeah, man, I couldn't be a Hall of Fame voter because I'm like, why? First of all, why are we only letting like 7 people in? That's the first thing.
Why we letting 4 people in?
Yeah, like this year, why we only letting 4 people in? There's a bunch of people waiting outside.
And guess what? Donald said this an hour ago.
Yeah, absolutely. You gotta have bigger classes, man. There's people waiting. They sitting there waiting to get in. like, and deserve to be there. What we talking about?
I don't know, man. I don't know. All right. Before we go, we want to say from Just a Fan Podcast, and we speak for all four hosts. Another Hall of Famer, retired head coach of the Buffalo Bills, Marv Levy. We want to wish him a happy 100th belated birthday. He coached the Buffalo Bills to 4 Super Bowls, unfortunately losing. I did not know that he used to coach in the Canadian Football League and won. Hold on, wait a minute. He used to play in coach in Canadian Football League and won 2 Grey Cups. And he is not only in the Pro Football Hall of Fame, he's also in the Canadian Football Hall of Fame.
Yes, sir.
So you talking about a Hall of Famer, and this man is 100 years old. Happy 100th belated birthday to head coach Marv Levy.
And let me tell you something, because people who think small, like, well, you ain't win a Super Bowl, you ain't about that. Let me tell you something. To get there 4 times in a row, that's still an amazing feat.
It is an amazing feat because it's difficult to get there one time.
Thank you. So it's like I can't stand people that push that narrative. Well, if you ain't win it, it don't matter if you got there. And usually those are people who are fans of teams that were nowhere close.
You know what? No. To me, it means you don't know anything about football because that tells me that you choose Trent Dilfer over Dan Marino.
Yeah.
That tells me you choose Brad Johnson over Jim Kelly.
Who was one of the toughest SOBs to play quarterback during the era. He took poundings and would still be in the game. You know, it's like he was tough. He's beating cancer right now. Like, what are we talking about? I mean, that might be one of my new catchphrases. What are we talking about here? Yeah. So I hate it when people dog the Bills from that era because like Mystical has like one of his most famous lines on one of his songs. I'm not the 92 to 94 Buffalo Bills. You know, it's like, yeah, it's a hard bar, but to get there 4 times in a row
is extremely difficult. I don't think anybody's done it yet.
That means you owned an entire conference for 4 straight years. An entire conference. That's nothing to sneeze at, man.
Nope.
Yeah. So, you know, hey, man. Yeah. But yeah, we've been talking about it long enough. This is kind of like our complaining show about the Hall of Fame. If you feel like the Hall of Fame should expand their classes and they should let more players in at a time, please make sure and go by our Facebook page and talk about how you feel and so on and so forth. Put it out there because I think it's a travesty. I think it's an all-out travesty that
yes, it is.
That some guys that's been waiting for decades to get in. They got the resume. Just sitting there. Well, I guess I don't know if I'm gonna get in the Hall of Fame or not. Yeah, man. So, yeah.
And also, if you know any football players that should get in, go ahead and let us know on Facebook as well. All right, and we're closing out the show. We're back next week on Monday, same time, same place. Don't forget, before the game between Dallas and Philadelphia on Thursday Night Football, we will be moving back to Wednesday nights. So this is a reminder that we're going to move back to Wednesday night because we can't do Monday night during the season.
It's a game.
we can't do Monday night during the season.
Y'all not going to watch us. Y'all don't watch the game. On Wednesday. We only move some Mondays during the off season. We go to Wednesdays once the season starts.
So when the season starts, it's Wednesday. Off season Monday. Okay. Now, if we got to make any other adjustments in between, we'll let y'all know ahead of time. But right now, Monday during the off season, Wednesday during the season. So this is a reminder that before that Dallas-Philadelphia game, we're moving back to Wednesday. Matter of fact, I think that week we're moving back to Wednesday. So, but we'll try to keep reminding everybody. Okay. So we are live on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitch. You can follow us on Facebook, TikTok, Twitter, and IG. Okay. Panel 316, the good guy with the black hat. He already told y'all earlier in the show, expand the Hall of Fame class. Coach Williams, the NFL Encyclopedia, the Wildcat quarterback that runs the show. Hey, y'all, I'm going to remind y'all again, I'm a future Hall of Famer, baby. Peace out. Good night.